has changed, as you know, and we have to move with it in order to survive, so that hopefully we can continue to thrive and deliver on our mission. This isn't news that you're going to want to hear, but ultimately it was my decision, and I wanted you to hear from me. It's been a really, really challenging decision to make. This is the second time in my career I'm doing this, and I do not want to do this. The last time I did it, I cried. This time I hope to be stronger. But we are laying off about 15% of the company. If you're on this call, you are part of the unlucky group being laid off. Your employment here is terminated, effective immediately.
So, folks, we're going to get to Cenk's views and Anna's views, and then my reaction to their views. We're going to do that in the next few seconds. But if you haven't already done so, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. Put your comments down below because you're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. And I'm your host. My name is Dr. Nasir. Let's see what Anna has to say about these CEOs.
What? I mean, look, don't feel bad for the employees, 900 of them who were part of that call. Feel bad for the poor CEO who raked in a $25 million bonus last year. Because the last time he had to do it, he cried. And so this is a very, very traumatic experience for him, okay? Let's show some compassion. Let's show some sympathy. What a garbage human being. Really.
Garbage human being. These guys continually, always talk about the compensation for CEOs. He had to make a decision. It's tough. It's rough out there, folks. And if you've ever lost a job or been laid off or fired, I mean, look, when it happens to you, absolutely, you feel it. And you want to talk about it, and it hurts, and you're scared, and you're wondering what's going to happen. But that, unfortunately, is a part of life. And whether or not this CEO made $1 in compensation or whether he made $100 million in compensation has nothing to do with the fact that he had a business decision to make. And she's getting me a little bit, verklempt here or whatever. Anyways, he had to make a decision. And like he said, he only had to make it one time before, and it was very upsetting for him. Okay, he's putting it out there. He's talking about it. But you know what? He made a decision, and that's it. And to talk about these evil corporations and greedy CEOs and whatever, that just doesn't do anybody any good except just enhance the class warfare that these guys continue to try to do, pit between corporation CEOs and the workers. Let's continue and see what else Miss Anna has to say.
The faux, I'm just really heartbroken over this. I don't really care too much to meet with you individually. I'm just doing this all suddenly, without any warning, through a Zoom call. But I want...
Okay, most people are remote. So what would she have done? If there's 900 people there, he goes and meets individually with them at their home. He flies around the country, around the world to meet with them. I mean, I don't think all 900 were in a building. I wouldn't assume that. I mean, what the hell is Hannah talking about here? This is how and it just came out all of a sudden. I mean, I'm sure, people, they keep things tight to the vest. CEOs, executives, managers, they have to do that in a certain way. And then when they make a decision, they probably looked at it. But at one point in time, having these 900 people and paying them a salary each and every day, each and every week, each and every month, each and every year, they were making a profit. And now they had to make a strategic decision. How do we continue and move the business forward? Or do we just basically close up shop? You know what? The business goes down the drain. The company goes down the drain. Everybody loses. what do we have to do? They made a strategic decision in terms of what they need to do to keep the doors open, to cut expenses as much as possible so they can increase profitability. And when that thing happens, they'll start to hire again and the whole cycle repeats itself. That's basically what happens, folks. Business 101, which these guys have yet to understand at the Young Turks, who I affectionately call the Young Jerks.
You guys understand, of course he's not like experiencing grief because he's doing this.
No, of course he's not.
It's a super easy process for him. He doesn't have to see anyone face to face. He doesn't have to deal with anyone's tears, anyone freaking out in his office over the fact that they have families to feed. He has to do it through a Zoom call, 900 people, and he just pretends like it's really tearing him apart. It's a really difficult thing to do.
I've always been very fearful of employees being remote. I've always wanted them in the office. I wanted to look at them, feel them. I'm a very tactile leader, I think, and I wanted that. And I was always uncomfortable. Are they working? How do we assess them working? We take a number of data points, be it a CRM tool that they're currently using, a phone system like a Vonage, an email system, it could be G Suite or Microsoft 365. We aggregate all those data points in a real-time proprietary dashboard that provides them a weighted score. We record and transcribe all your phone calls.
Well, everything I say on the phone
is transcribed. So we now
recorded.
All of it is recorded. We use AI tools to massage that into a real-time score that you see, as does your boss and the CEO and the VP of sales and the chief revenue officer. Everyone is seeing the productivity. Every morning you come to your desk, you have an email from us. You have your productivity score, your proto scores on the first line of the email. Your score yesterday for proto score was 74. Your colleagues were 90. They've done more. And it's a tool that you could gauge yourself against your peers.
What a complete and utter goof.
Now, basically, I think that's great. That's exactly what you need to do. Productivity. It tells you exactly whether you're producing compared to your peers, your other colleagues. How else are they going to basically decide who's doing the work, who's not, who's slacking off, who's not cutting it, who is? I mean, all these things are there. I can just bet you any amount of money that these guys, how much you want to bet that these guys can't stand it? All right, let's see what they have to say.
And honestly, a total creeper, like, oh yeah, I want to touch them, I want to feel them, I want to watch them. Are they being productive enough? And then look at how they try to pit their workers against each other. Oh, you see that your colleagues were 90% more productive than you were. What happened to office culture? What happened to company culture? It's BS.
So I know dudes like that, and they really think, again, they're in such a bubble, they think they nailed it. Mm-hmm. And other people listening.
Yeah, he's proud of himself.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, now I just got to go back here, okay? And to say this thing, I just got to go back. And that is because I would just like to ask Ana and Cenk and say that that gentleman, that CEO, was doing productivity scores and linking it to, like you said, emails or to phone calls or video calls, and they were transcribing it through AI, and they were basically seeing the productivity of, I would imagine, their sales force or their employee force, whatever they were doing. And they were basically judging and saying, your peers are at 90% productivity and you're in the 70s. So the question becomes is that how can we help you get to that same place as your fellow colleagues are? It's not pitting one against each other. Well, I mean, in a way, yes. Okay, all right. But it's not, I mean, listen, I'm sure that there's sales bonuses and other things side. You know what? It is survival of the fittest in this thing. What if the guy was performing at 40%, 30%? Would you like doing it? Here's a question I would ask for, Cenk the Jenk. If you, in your productivity scores, it's probably, we're talking views, right? Those views translate into revenue, advertisement. If you have somebody on your show, and let's say they put on a show and the views aren't there, how long will you continue with that person? If they're not somebody that somebody wants to watch, somebody wants to listen to, somebody wants to, hear what they have to say, their opinion, their punditry. If they don't want to do that, you're just going to keep them around? Is that what you're going to do? Is that what anyone's going to do on any of the cable networks or any of the other media, digital media outlet platforms out there? So they say, oh, I know people out there like that, joiks like that are hands-on, feely, whatever. I mean, the guy was just saying, yeah, he's attacked. He wants to be hands-on in his company. He wasn't talking about feeling people up like Joe Brandon, our president, does. That's not what he was talking about. But it was just one of the, again, to hear these guys talk is that, corporations, all of them evil, CEOs, executives, managers, evil. The only good people are the workers. That's it. That's it. Let's hear.
And they really think, again, they're in such a bubble, they think they nailed it. And other people listening.
Yeah, he's proud of himself.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
When the world shut down, Tillman, so did your businesses, from casinos to restaurants to the rockets. How are you holding up?
I'm holding up pretty damn good, but I've got 45,000 employees out there that we've had to furlough. That is so tremendously unfortunate that we've got to get back to work as soon as we can. And these unemployment numbers of 16 million, and there's no telling what it's going to be next week, is what's so sad about this whole crisis.
How hard was that decision to lay off your employees?
Brian, I went through the 87 crisis, the 2000, the 2008, and it's kind of something that you realize is you're doing your people a favor if you get them furloughed first, because they're the first to the unemployment line after the severance that you give them. And it's a trick that I learned many years ago, and that's why so many people are having a hard time now. But it's just unimaginable. We've all had to do little layoffs over the years, but to have to basically shut down your whole company, when you think about having amusement parks, aquariums, restaurants all over the world, a basketball team, casinos all over, and nothing is open. It's just, it's like a sci-fi movie that you would never believe.
So Cenk, he has done his employees a favor because they were among the first in the unemployment line. He really helped them beat everyone else to the punch.
Yeah. The part we cut off is in Kilmead's intro is when Kilmead said right before the sentence we showed you, I don't know anybody who's been hit harder than Tillman Furtada. So.
I mean, we just have to basically say here that if you go back and you were listening to what these guys were talking about, I mean, the whole fact of the matter here, folks, is that when Ana and Cenk were saying that, look, this CEO, 45,000 people we're talking about during COVID, folks, owns a basketball team. Yes, he's probably a billionaire. Yes, it's not going to affect him. But you know what? It is affecting his business bottom line. He's made his money, obviously. He's saved up a nice little nest egg. He's going to be but you know what? A lot of people didn't survive, and they were millionaires. And he was talking about that casinos, his basketball team, all the other businesses that he owns besides that. 45,000 employees, worldwide. And as he said, and these guys are over there basically talking about it as if, he should have just kept them going. How? He gives them a severance pay, so they got money there. And basically he said this happened in 87, in 2000, 2008. And one thing he found out, that if you do it quick and if you do it quickly and first, then they're the ones, that are right in line to get the benefits that they can get in terms of unemployment benefits and whatever else benefits, they can get, that they're allowed to receive. So yes, he said, listen, now of course they're saying, doing them a favor by firing them or laying them off. What did you want him to do? If no one's coming into the casino, would anybody do that? I would like to ask Cenk the Cenk. If an employee is not, for example, if you have to do something where they're not coming in, how long would you be able to? If you're able to and you can, hey, by all means, God bless you. But like I said, these are tough decisions that they have to make we may not like them, especially if it happens to, you or I or whatever. Of course we're caught up in it. Of course we're human. We're going to get upset. We're going to be, what do you want? Sad, mad, scared. What's my next step? I've got a house payment. I got to feed my kids. I got to send them to college. I got a mortgage to pay. I got rent. I got a car payment. I have insurance. My insurance. But you know what? This happens every single day. People are fired. People are hired. It's just so in these examples that they were using, the 900 over there, the other CEO does productivity and everything. This guy, during the COVID. How many industries were decimated? If you want to blame anybody, you guys were the ones that were talking about, oh, the pandemic, oh, we got to shut things down. Listen to the government. Put on your damn masks. You know what? If you don't get a jab, get the jab once, get it twice, get it thrice. Go 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Come on now. You're the guys that were pushing, oh, yeah, shut down the economy, shut down the greatest economy in the entire world. We got to shut this down. You can't have people going outside. You can't have doing this thing. Shut it down. Fauci. He's the best. Right? That's what you guys were saying. It was a government that caused this whole economic destruction of small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses, of the American worker, the American jobs, American dream. They were the one that came in there. We're starting to come back now. And it's going to take some time to come back. But to blame these CEOs, you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. Anyways, we appreciate you taking that time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir. And I'll leave you with my final thought, which is, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.